Hey guys, I've started a lucid dreaming journal as a video journal. The idea being is that I'll explain my dream to you guys and then I'll dissect it for areas of possible lucidity. The goal being that if we talk about it and discuss it, it'll help me and you to both think more about lucid dreaming, which itself helps to become more lucid, and also talking about the different aspects and the reality checks and all that sort of stuff will help to shore up some of the theory or the practical nature behind the act of lucid dreaming. So, without further ado, let's get into this episode. I've called this dream LSD-laced job interviews. So, other stuff happened prior to this in the dream, but the important part happened when I was being interviewed for a job. It was all those normal stock standard boring questions, you know, how do you think you'll help the organisation, blah 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 blah. Until the secretary came in, unannounced, halfway through. She gave me a drink. Well, she gave everyone a drink. But there was something a bit off about her. I couldn't quite place. You know, she seemed a bit... Something was going on, but I put it down to her shyness. And moved on. It wasn't enough to make me realise, like, she was just acting a bit funny, but it didn't make me check in. Anyway, I took a drink of the water, and I looked up, and I realised I was the only one actually drinking. And as I swallowed, the interviewer had this massive smile on his face and casually informed me that the water that I just consumed was laced with LSD. And then proceeded to interrogate me a little more intensely. He said to me that the laced water will act as a truth serum, and he'll be able to determine my true aptitude for the job, so to speak, by asking me whatever he likes. Now, having never experienced LSD in waking life, I have no reference point onto the effects of the drug, other than what I've seen in movies or people talking about it. But suffice to say, the wall started to bend, my depth perception was off, and objects sort of seemed to jump out at me. So if I was looking at the glass, it was like somehow more poignant. It was like the focal point of focus, and everything else sort of blended, as like sort of popped in my visual field, so to speak. Anyway, they started playing some music, and with the beat, my visual field would sort of flash or trip between different colours. So it was like green, blue, red, green, red, orange, yellow, just bang, 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 in time with the beat of the music that they were playing. So suffice to say, I freaked out. I pushed the interview over and I ran away as fast as possible, still heavily impacted by the spiked drink. And as I ran down the street, the sort of trippiness kept going. Now, I quickly woke up with like, you know, that sort of sweating, cold sweat, heartbeat sort of feeling. So that was the whole dream. Didn't become lucid, had my drink spiked, woke up in a bit of fear. Okay. Now, let's think about this. In the dream, there was quite a few opportunities to check in. I'm not currently applying for a job, so doing so is out of my life's context. But it's a fairly regular occurrence, so it's a bit up and down there. Apart from the, you know, the CIA experiments in the 60s, people don't really spike drinks with LSD that often. So perhaps I should have realised I was dreaming when I was told that. But because the world started to twist and spin and the effects of the drug took hold very quickly in the dream, I didn't really have time to sort of process that someone spiking my drink, being told that directly, wouldn't really happen in real life. And in addition, the psychedelic effects of the drug in the dream correlate with the supposed effects in real life. So I couldn't really use those as a check for reality either. So I was left in a bit of a bind. Like, upon reflection, I'm like, how could have I used this? The impact of the drug is psychedelic, and without taking the drug, you would assume that those symptoms would be enough to go, reality's a bit off, I'll reality check. But because I was told in the dream that I had ingested a drug, I'm left wondering how to reality check from that, because let's say I do perform a reality check, or I start flying, or do some sort of lucid based thing. There's a risk that I could be really on the drug, tripping out, and then, actually awake and not in a safe place. So I'm really actually not sure how to handle it. I suppose one way would be to potentially stop, look and observe what's happening. Try and see if the impact of the drug was consistent. So was it fluctuating in waves, or was it a consistent thing? This is what's constantly happening. But once again, the problem is having never taken the drug, I don't know what it's supposed to be like. I don't know if it goes up and down in waves. I'm not sure. So I guess if it happens again in a dream, I'll be now more aware of it. And I suppose the real key would be to become lucid before I get my drink spiked in my dream. So anyway, I throw this out to you. Have you ever experienced something like this in your dream? What did you do? And how did you use it to become lucid? Is it possible to become lucid after ingesting a dream drug, so to speak? Anyway, thanks for listening. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, please like, share and subscribe. And if you want more content, you can head over to my website. I've chucked the links down below. There you'll find my blog and my reality check podcast. I blog about different topics and I talk about different things. A lot of the topics aren't related to lucid dreaming. They're talking about mental illness and PTSD, depression, anxiety, those sort of things. My goal is to raise awareness and discuss some personal experiences that I've had. And if you're very interested, I've also released a book. I've called it Under the Influence, Reclaiming My Childhood. In it I discuss my experiences as the son of a paranoid schizophrenic, chronic hoarder and drug dealer. I talk about what it was like in that environment and the impact on my personal mental state and my experience with a mental illness. It's a bit of an intense read, but the responses I'm getting back are amazing. People seem to get a lot out of it and are opening up about their own issues and things that they want to share.